been a while since we've heard anything about aftermarket Nintendo Switch docks and how they can affect your console in the long term. There seems to be less companies making their own Switch docks, but they're still out there. There's two reasons somebody would want an aftermarket Switch dock. One, the official one is expensive. What are you gonna do? But two, they want a smaller, more portable one, because there's no reason for this thing to be as big as it is. Lucky for us, there's a really cheap and super simple way to make your official Nintendo Switch dock around the 1/6 of its current size with minimal effort. A little backstory first. I recently thought that I broke my stock Nintendo Switch dock because my PDP USB GameCube controller wasn't being registered in any of the USB ports. Hey, guess what? It's not the controller. You know what? All right, so I tried a different one of the same controller and still nothing. So I just ordered an extra Nintendo Switch dock off of Amazon for about 70 bucks, which is way better than the 90 that it used to sell at, but still pretty expensive. Get unstuck, you nice lady. Oh, it was the outlet. How weird is that? Turns out that all I had to do was change the outlet that my dock was plugged into, and that fixed the issue for some reason. But I wanted a new dock anyway because it comes with an extra charger, and I wanted to perform this mod. I've put my dock in one of these enclosures before, a little while ago, and since then, it's gotten a little wobbly. I lost a couple screws along the way. Also, my dock gets a lot of use. I rarely play my Switch portably, so this might have also contributed to the wobblage. I really want to stop talking about my dock now. Regardless, it's high time that I got myself a travel dock that I actually feel comfortable plugging my Switch into. This whole video is one big innuendo. Now, I don't want to get too into this because I've talked about it at length and I have a whole video that goes way into detail about this, but basically, Nintendo built the Switch in such a way that no third-party manufacturer has any idea how the Switch draws power. It does not use the standard USB-C power delivery protocol. Almost every dock manufacturer just uses this protocol and decides, well, it should be good enough, but the Switch does not use that protocol, so that is not good enough. It uses some weird modified version of USB PD, so for that reason, I don't trust third-party docks, and I don't trust third-party chargers either. So if you want to make sure that your Switch is safe, and you can keep all those save files that just can't be copied over to the cloud, then make sure you're using official Nintendo hardware for power delivery. For good battery health on any device, even cell phones, I always make sure that I am using the charger that came with the device for most of the charging. Maybe there's an edge case where I'm on vacation for a few days and I need an extra charger, or maybe I left one at home and I need another one just for a day. But if you're one of those people whose phone charger next to their bed is something they bought at 7-Eleven, then you've probably got a lot more problems than just your phone charger, so I'm sorry that I even bring that up. Now, some of you are gonna say, I've been using a third-party dock and charger for over a year now, and my Switch is just fine. Well, I've thrown my phone at the ground about 10 times, and it only broke on the 11th time.
Shoot, right. Dang it, piss, ass. Ah, damn it. Yeah, just kidding, it's a prank, it's a joke, it's a goof.
So stop throwing your Switch at the ground, because that's basically what you're doing. The only downside to this mod is that the official Nintendo Switch dock is significantly more expensive than all of the third-party docks. But maybe you don't need an additional Nintendo Switch dock. Maybe you just want to take the one that you have now and make it a lot smaller. Luckily, the kit for this mod is only about $12. So this could cost you $82, or this could cost you just $12 if you use your existing one. I opted for the Famicom Red version, which is about $3 more because my Switch is Famicom colored. The red of the dock doesn't exactly match the red of my Switch, but there we go. It's also a really simple mod to perform. All of the tools you need are included in the tiny box. The important ones are the regular screwdriver and the tri-tip Y-shaped screwdriver. There's also a slightly larger screwdriver which helps with some of the screws. Taking the dock apart is a piece of cake. These are the guts right here. All of the extra plastic around it is just that. The only thing that takes additional effort is getting this ribbon cable out along with the USB-C connector that the Switch actually connects to. You have to take this whole assembly apart and bend it slightly to pop out the USB-C connector. Mine's already slightly bent from doing this a few times. If you don't plan on reversing this mod and reassembling the Nintendo dock, you can just... There you go, no problem. Here's a fun little problem I ran into. I guess performing this mod a bunch of times for several videos throughout the past 2 years, I somehow managed to damage my ribbon cable. You see how one of the contacts is missing? This contact turned out to be imperative for HDMI output. So be very careful with the ribbon cable. Make sure you're pulling this little latch up with a lot of care. Again, I can't stress this enough. This tiny chip is all that you need for the Nintendo Switch dock. There's no reason for it to be as big as it is. There are no instructions for the new dock enclosure, but placing it in there is also a piece of cake. You just have to run the ribbon cable around the back of it and screw it in with the provided screws. Once you screw it in place, that's it. You have a brand new portable Nintendo Switch dock. I'm shocked that the Switch has been out for over 2 years and there's barely any companies making Nintendo Switch dock enclosures. BASSTOP is the only company that I know of, and there's a bunch of other companies that use the same exact design. I couldn't even find any on Etsy. I thought for sure there'd be some cool creative ones, but there's really not. I know about the Super Mario Odyssey one that I saw a long time ago, but that one is huge and expensive and defeats the whole purpose of this mod. They didn't even put the guts of the dock in the Odyssey. There's a big USB-C cable going from an actual dock to the Odyssey. This Pokeball one's also pretty cool, but they did the same thing with the dock, it's just a cable. There's also these mods that people keep sending me, but it cannibalizes a GameCube, so don't do that. You'd think by now this would be a very popular mod given the necessity of the official Nintendo Switch dock and its needlessly large size. So many people want a travel dock for their Nintendo Switch that they can just shove in their bag or even their small Switch case and take it with them wherever they go. Shoving the official dock in this tiny case solves a lot of problems. And it runs exactly the same. There's no heat issues because the Switch is completely open. The dock itself has air vents to cool itself off. Maybe I shouldn't have blocked those vents with the ribbon cable, but oh well. Just don't expect the Nintendo Switch's screen to display anything while it's docked. That only works for third-party docks that have 2 modes, one for just charging and playing in tabletop mode, and one for charging and displaying HDMI. Now, with all this talk about a Nintendo Switch Mini or a mid-life cycle redesign of the Nintendo Switch coming soon, I really hope this brings a redesign of the dock. If we're getting a smaller Switch with Joy-Cons that stay attached, then they're gonna need to redesign the current dock anyway because a smaller Switch won't fit in the current dock. But the current Switch would fit in that dock, which would be nice. This redesign might also be a perfect opportunity to fix that USB PD protocol, fix the way the Switch consumes power, maybe even make a new dock and charger. But then how do you make sure that people don't plug their current dock and charger into the new Switch or vice versa? You can make it a proprietary port, but people aren't gonna like that very much. It's also entirely possible that Nintendo just doesn't include a charger with the new Nintendo Switch Mini. They did that with the new 3DS XL. It's some bullshit, but it did happen. Anyway, we're talking about the mod here. The mod is totally worth it. It's only $12 if you want to do it to your current Nintendo Switch dock, and it's super easy, and there's not a lot that can go wrong. But it is $82 if you want to go all out and get an additional dock that you can just throw in your bag and have with you wherever you go. Don't be afraid of screwdrivers. If the alternative is plugging your Switch into a small third-party dock, then this mod is way easier than transferring all your saves from the Switch that you just broke. So what do you guys think about this little tiny dock enclosure for your Nintendo Switch dock? Does this solve any of your problems? Is this even considered a mod? It's just, you're just kind of like taking the guts out of the dock and putting it in this little thing. I think it counts, but it's like the easiest. It's like if it was an iFixit rating, this would be a 1 or a 5. How does that rating work? 10, it would be a 10. It's the easiest thing. Anyway, if this is something that solves some problems for you, leave it in the comments below. Add me on Twitter, any and all of this other social media garbage. We got new videos on this channel all the time. Our schedule is usually in a pinned tweet over on Twitter. We also got live streams all the time, like Wulff Den Live, our live podcast at 8 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday. We're also on twitch.tv/WulffDen on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can play some games with us. I'm probably live right now. And you can support us here on YouTube by clicking that join button or going over to Twitch. And if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub using Twitch Prime. It's free for you, help support the channel. You can get into our supporter-only Discord, play games with us once a month. We just did that with Mario Kart. You get videos like this one early posted in the supporter-only Discord. You also get private chat time with this guy over here. Don't forget to check out that video where I go in depth about third-party Nintendo Switch docks. But of course, the most important thing that you can do, and the easiest thing, is just subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend who likes to, tinker with stuff. Maybe you can get him to do this mod for you if you're afraid of screwdrivers. Thank you very much. Have yourself a good week.